Hopefully it doesn't kick us like it did last week. It didn't. All right,
Yeah,
cool. We
yeah.
live again. Another episode of the Red River Rundown, episode 38. Isaiah, Cam, Loon, we here. We in this thing. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for commenting, liking, doing all that good stuff. And we got some stuff to talk about today. And gentlemen, we're gonna dive right into it this week. We were texting last night. Let's jump in and talk about that MMA, that Netflix MMA card, and what y'all's thoughts are on the hexagon, the fights, and everything surrounding it. What do y'all think about it?
What a mockery. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what a mockery of the sport. What a spectacle. I mean, I think they paid more in the promotions of the fight to get everything going, to give it this mystique, this nostalgia, this build up, this great job by the production team. That was fantastic. However, you had five five total fights that ended in the first round. Nate Diaz and Mike Perry was an absolute drunk motherfuckers at the bar, just swinging, just not knowing what to do, just absolutely out of shape. 45-year-old Nate Diaz trying to go out on a shield. The Ngannou fight, I mean, Francis, why'd you ever leave the UFC? Now you're doing dumb shit like this and just trying to capitalize on money, which I understand to a degree, but legacy in the sport also should mean something. And now, like, what's next for him? Is there any kind of talks about that? I guess he called out John Jones in the midst of his win last night. John Jones is old as fuck too, bro. Like it just everything that's happening with this. I think the hexagon is a cool idea. Um, also, but it's it'll never beat out the UFC. Um, I think I'm not gonna say that Gina Carano took a dive. What I will say is that she's 44 years old and she hasn't fought anybody in MMA for 17 years. So do with that what you will. But what a waste of my time. I mean, honestly, that was just the build up, the hype around it. It was just a waste of my time. And then Jake agreeing to fight Nate Diaz in the MMA hexagon. That shit ain't gonna happen either. So stop lying to people. Jake isn't going to get cleared to box again for at least another 2 to 3 months. I'm sure he'll find another money grab because right now that's what MVP promotions is. It's just money grabs. Ronda made 2 million. I think Gina made 1 million off that fight. Good for them. They made a little chunk of change, and now let's see what happens next. But as far as them returning to any level of relevance, like yeah, it's cool you did it, but keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
Cam?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I kind of agree with Isaiah. Like, I walked away from it like I just wasted 3 hours of my life. Like, it just
You
I don't
watched
feel
for
like
that
any.
long, bro?
Well, I started with the fight before Ngannou. I can't remember the French dude that I guess has
Oh
been
yeah.
super hyped. Um, I just so the intent of the whole thing is to give fighters another option to maybe an option to make more money because I know one of the big things that UFC fighters are unhappy with is when they went away from being able to put sponsors on the trunks because they felt like they made more money that way, especially like the Brock Lesnar's and whatnot. So if MVP MMA fulfills what it was intended to fulfill, and they can get other like maybe more UFC guys to come that way, I think at that point it's a success. I don't know, like if they drop another card like last night where you got just severely overmatched people, I don't think it's gonna last long. Because that's what I took from it. Like the dude had no business being in the ring in the hexagon with Ngannou. Gina Carano had no business being in the hexagon with Ronda Rousey. Nate Diaz, that fight could have been great if he didn't have so much scar tissue, man. I mean, it was cool seeing an absolute bloodbath, I thought. Nate Diaz probably doesn't need to get in a ring again. Like he can't. I mean, one elbow and his shit is split wide open, and then he's good for maybe another round after that. And whether he wants to fight or not, yeah, they're gonna stop it. I mean, for obvious reasons. But like I said, the hexagon, I think it's cool because it forces people to stand in a phone booth. So like, man, if they put Holloway McGregor in a hexagon, a thing that like that small, that would be entertaining to me. But I think the octagon gives you more options in terms of like how you're watching a fight. Like your smaller, faster guys when they're fighting guys with big power, the octagon gives them more space to move around, makes it more of a challenge. It gives you more styles, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I don't know. Like I said, I texted Marlon last night, or I texted y'all last night. God, could you imagine being stuck in a phone booth with fucking Nagano in a hexagon? You got nowhere to go. I guarantee you that's why dude just gave up. He didn't get knocked out, bro. He was just like, fuck this.
Yeah, I think it's the I equate it to that's WCW of MMA.
Yeah.
That's all it is they used big names like Francis. They brought in John Jones for a second. Anderson Silva was there. Nate Diaz and Mike Perry, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. They literally just brought in a bunch of big names that nobody should be fighting anyways. And my biggest pushback is that's why the UFC didn't book Ronda. Because Ronda didn't want to fight anybody that's great. She wanted to go out on top. And they were like, we don't put on retirement fights. We put on the best fights. And that's why. Could you imagine the pushback in a UFC card if that fight main evented? It doesn't make sense. And for Ronda, like anything, just if you look only from Ronda's perspective, which is kind of crazy, but only from Ronda's, that's perfect for her. She goes out on top. The last thing that's on the card is what is that, instead of her getting head kicked by Holly Holm and getting obliterated by Amanda Nunes. So she gets to go out on her shield. But it looks like Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell a few years ago. It's horrible. It's not sustainable. Now I will say some of the other guys on the undercard and whatnot, great fights. I liked it. No names that are and watching Junior Dos Santos get destroyed and go to sleep. Solid stuff, right? But it's not going to be sustainable. It is all just a cash grab, and they continue to say this is the biggest fight card on the big. It's not. It's not. It's not even close, bro. It's just. It's. Netflix is interested in getting into the fight game. We see that, but they're so far behind in MMA, they're not going to catch up. And once you've seen the payouts, it's funny to me because you see Ronda makes $2 million, you've seen Gina makes $1 million, Ngannou makes one. There's fighters in the UFC now that are making more money than that. And so like Jake and everyone else, they're using the talk track from 5 years ago when people were complaining about their pay, and they think that they're doing a good job. Like it's a good thing to give people more opportunities to work and make some money, but it's not like they're paying more. Like I guarantee you that Connor and Max are going to max out way more money than they made. And for the sponsors, the UFC just started a new payment and they get more for bonuses, which instead of like 50, it's now like 100, sometimes 200,000 for the bonuses. And then they're all making X amount of money. So they're making way more money than what people are saying. But Jake and MVP understand that nobody's attention span is long enough to even do the research to understand how much UFC fighters are actually making. And they're just saying, oh, well, we're trying to make people blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, y'all are just running up fake numbers, and that's just what it is. And it's cool, right? Like I enjoyed it for what it was. If it would have stopped after the Nate Diaz and Mike Perry fight, I would have been fine.
Yes. I'm tired of seeing old ass tomato cans go in there and people are like, oh, you remember Nate beat Connor. That was 10 years ago. Like, even, okay, let's.
Nate's
for
22 and 14.
Sake, yeah. Like, for argument's sake, when the last time Ronda got into the MMA arena was over 10 years ago. Ronda is only 37 years old. If she didn't walk away and quit when she did, when she faced a little bit of adversity like she did, I think she would have seen the game pass her by a lot quicker, and her legacy might have been a little bit tarnished. But
She was already tarnished.
Yeah, she's also using her namesake to even do what she did. Just and as far as Gina Carano, a lot of people that are interested in MMA now had no idea who Gina Carano was. They had to constantly sell all the promotions of, oh, she was the trailblazer, or she was one of the first people to do it. Not a lot of people know that because Gina Carano never even fought in the UFC.
I think
So
like women fighters, I think they definitely looked
yeah,
up to
women
Gina,
fighters
but
know, but
as
to a
far as like,
casual,
well, but
selling
it
to a casual is what I'm
they
saying.
they are the like Ronda Rousey and Gina are the Mark Colemans, and they're the like the
Yeah.
OGs of what the UFC
Mhm.
ended up being in the MMA world. They just, when you compare them to what's happening now, you understand that the gap is so far that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Nate Diaz, like, and you could tell this is how you know it's a money grab. Nate Diaz has been doing nothing but money grabs since he choked out Connor, because
Mhm.
whenever everybody's training, everybody's doing their walkthrough, he's just smoking and motherfucker, I'm Nate Diaz, and it's like it's a cool
Yeah.
character, but that's all it is. And the last thing I'll say about it is if you want more reason to know it's a cash grab, why do you think that Nate's own brother doesn't mess with him anymore? You notice Nick Diaz didn't
Hmm.
walk out with him. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Nick came out publicly and said that the money went to Nate's head. Nate has surrounded himself by way too many yes men. Nate likes to get into some stuff way too often. That's what he is, and Nick doesn't want to
Yeah.
be around it. If your brother is saying that to you, there's some truth behind it. Do I want to
Mhm.
watch Nate and Mike Perry run it back? No, there's going to be no changes in it. Do I want to watch Jake Paul MMA against Nate Diaz or Mike Perry? No, I don't. I want to see if Jake go fight Francis Ngannou. If that's what you're gonna do, go fight him. Like I'm tired of this. I'm gonna fight a 48-year-old former MMA guy and push
Yeah.
it from that route. Like I'm not trying to say that MMA guys can't fight, because they can, but Jake is juicing. One, two. He's been boxing at this point for 10 years now, and the MMA guys are sparingly boxing because they're worried about knees, kicks, takedowns, and all kinds of other shit.
That's
They're
why
not
when Jake said it,
actual
I knew he
boxers.
wasn't gonna do it. He was not gonna do it. The moment he said, "Yeah, I'll fight this motherfucker in MMA," talking about Nate Diaz, even though Nate is old as fuck, like you're not gonna do that because you've never had to worry about a head kick. You've never had to worry about somebody taking you down, and you training to do that, even if it's against a 45-year-old Nate Diaz. You're not going to do that. I think the biggest takeaway that I got from this, and I'll let Cameron go, is I can't stand Francis Ngannou for what he did in total. If you
I
look
said it.
at the dominance of, I mean, it's Felipe Lins. I mean, he's not a big name or anything like that, but he is a decent guy. Francis Ngannou walked away when he could have been on the trajectory to be the most dominant heavyweight in UFC history. And he said, Dana's only given me $3 million a fight or whatever the number was, and was like, fuck it. I'm going to go get knocked out by Anthony Joshua. And then I'm
So
going to hop all
just
over the
the
place now.
just for this, the payout that he got, and this, you keep in mind, this does not include his win bonus or the pay-per-view points that he got to walk into the cage or the octagon. He got 600,000. So he also got points on it. If you just say 600,000 is what he got just to make the walk, he made one last night, $1 million. You're not making that much more. You're getting your points, and from 2022 to now, you're making more money, Francis. So, in my
Yeah.
opinion, you made the wrong decision. I think Francis knows he makes the wrong decision, but because you are a character and entertainer, he can't publicly say I made the wrong decision, because then no one will watch him fight. Cam, what you think?
Well, a couple
Take your
things.
time.
Number one, it felt like the big three to me. That's what I felt like I was watching. Bunch of has-beens that they walked away for whatever reason,
Bars.
and this gave them an opportunity to come back and do it again, albeit old. It felt like half-court basketball. That's me. No, I would still not step in a hexagon with Francis Ngannou. Let's make that clear. I'm not talking shit in that regard. But the one of the things which has nothing to do with the actual fights. The double intros. I didn't. What the fuck was the intro before they even walked to the octagon? And then intro again before the fight. Like, damn, like the double intros took 30 minutes every fight. I'm like, God damn it, dude. So I didn't really care for that.
Gina Carano's walkout was longer than her time in the hexagon.
Bro.
Ronda's was longer, and she power walks to the ring.
Yeah.
Just dumb. to
I
me.
hate her mean face too. It just bothers
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
I think this is me
uh,
being a hater, and I'll gladly call it out. But the biggest thing that I feel like is because Ronda is still in character, and she still wants to feel like she's the greatest thing ever. And last
She
night
should've
just
stayed in
strokes her ego.
WWE.
Yeah,
Like,
last.
if you want to be a fucking character, go back to wrestling.
Well, they hate her because she's mouthy and she's
Yeah,
egotistical.
you blacklisted yourself from
Bro,
the two main wrestling
her
organizations.
build-ups to the fight got on my nerves.
Yes.
You damn right, it's the greatest fucking fight ever.
Yeah,
Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
dude,
Not even close. Not
man,
even
Yeah.
8
close. Ronda.
seconds.
Yeah.
8 seconds.
Even past that, like that's horrible, bro. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's just the ego of Ronda that consistently it rubs me the wrong way. She's got a point. MMA fans, when they talk about the all-time greats, they shit on them more than they give them their praise. I agree with her in that take. But I also think that a lot of the older people constantly shit on the younger people like she did Hamzat, like she did the majority of the UFC fighters saying that they're horrible. But if you got in the octagon with them, Ronda, right now,
Bro.
or even in your prime, they would kick your ass.
I mean, but isn't it's not just UFC though? That's what I don't understand. Like you think Kevin Durant is gonna walk around and be like, I can't beat, I don't know, fucking Kevin McHale.
Right.
You know, the game passed you by. Ronda Rousey was dominant when styles were very different. So like, and the women's division was brand new,
Specialists.
so there wasn't
Yes.
a lot of
There
depth.
was Muay Thai.
These fighters now can
grapplers,
do everything.
then
Like most
strikers.
of them can do all of it. And when she matched up with somebody, an Olympic boxer, she got pieced. I mean, that
she
shit happens.
She couldn't get her to the ground, and she got beat the hell up.
And and like last night to me was no different than what I've ever seen Ronda like do. And like that's why she cannot succeed in UFC anymore, because the days of wrestlers being able to just run and shoot right off just run and shoot. Game Bread ended that. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna knee you into oblivion,
bro. Like, so the way she did Gina last night, you're not doing that in the UFC with all these people in their prime. You can't just run and shoot like that. You have to set it up.
For older MMA fans that watched UFC a long time ago, essentially what happened to Ronda is what we saw in the Royce Gracie versus Matt Hughes fight. Royce Gracie at one point was the greatest UFC fighter of all time. He came back in 2006 and fought Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes ran through him like a hot butter through or a hot knife through butter. And then you watch Matt Hughes get ran through by GSP. The game evolves so fast. Ronda can't get over that. She continues to think that she's the best and she can fight with the best right now, and she can't. And it's one of those where it's like, you just look at it for what it is. In your time, Ronda, you were the best. That was a long time ago. If people don't give a fuck about you right now, you have to understand that, one, people probably didn't watch you fight, and two, the fights that they did see you against comparative skill, you got mowed through. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's this, people are allowed to have their opinion on things like Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson at one point was the baddest man on the planet. When you look at it, when he fought boxers that were on his level, Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, they ran through him. And there's nothing wrong with it. People can use the Customato excuse all day and tomorrow, and I get it. Like, I understand he lost his trainer. He went down the wrong path. He was doing drugs. He was doing stuff like that. I get it. But at the end of the day, all we can actually talk about are the facts. And the facts are Lennox ran through him, Evander ran through him twice, Ronda got ran through by Holly Holmes, and she got ran through by Amanda Nunes. You can use whatever excuse you want. I don't care.
Walked away. That is the thing. And I understand the psychological effect of a loss can it can put you in a very dark place, especially if you've been on that mountaintop for so long, or you are seen as one of the greats. I completely understand that. However, you can't talk the same cash that you talked 10 years ago and think that it's going to have the same effect. Like, no, we've watched you get absolutely dominated, and then you decide to fight somebody who hasn't put on the gloves in almost 20 years. And I think it's gonna give her an overcomplication of her ego. I think she fights again. I don't know
I
if
don't
she
think she
tries to
does.
fight.
I don't think she does.
If the only one that I can see her fighting is Cyborg.
She's not fighting. She ducked Cyborg when she was in her prime. She's
Yeah,
not fighting Cyborg.
Cyborg would kill her.
Yes, it's over with. Like that, and she said it. I want to go have more babies. That's how you can tell it was a cash pool. She wanted one more fight. She publicly stated it.
Wanted to
She
go
went to
out
the
on top.
UFC. She asked them for a last fight. She wanted Gina Carano. Hunter Campbell was like, "Fuck no!" And you think you want a main event? Like you got me. Nobody's gonna watch this shit, bro. Like why? Like again. For the UFC, for MMA fans in the world, and this is no disrespect to them, because like again, being older and coming back and doing something that you did, you get the kudos for that. But as a UFC fan, would I rather watch Max and Conor 2 or Gina versus Ronda? I'm going Max and Conor 2 all day.
And I think because
I don't
you
think that's
look
going to be a
at
great fight either.
Which one?
well, the Max Conor one.
I think Max is going to piece up Conor, bro.
I think
Conor
it'll be
hadn't fought in forever.
He hasn't, but I think it'll be better than what we seen last night. And I think because
yeah,
of
sure.
I think the type of fight, the things that made Conor get destroyed by Dustin, Max doesn't do. Dustin calf kicked him into oblivion. He couldn't move, and then he took advantage of it. Max doesn't calf kick. Max is going to probably outbox him, get him in later rounds, and then probably tee off on him. But I don't think it'll be just what we saw last night.
Well, and I think the biggest thing too with that fight, all right, when you're looking at the Max Conor fight, Max is still fighting the best of the best, even in the twilight years of his career, which really, we say twilight very subjectively. He's just having to fight the most dominant motherfuckers in the octagon right now and trying to hold his own against them. So with that fight, it's not like Max hasn't fought somebody in 10 years or some shit. Like that's the biggest difference. That's why that fight will sell more. And Conor being the marketable trailblazer that he was, and
for sure.
now he has to come down off the juice. That's why
allegedly is what I'm gonna say. Allegedly.
Did y'all see the whole fight card though? It's a pretty
It's
dope,
solid,
nice
yeah, bro.
fight. Yeah,
Patty's on it.
Finally, Gable Stevenson.
Both
It's a huge
summer
debut
cards
for
are
him.
gonna be dope.
And that's the difference between what people can like
the 250 card and
why do smaller MMA programs never work? Because they push it off of former UFC guys or constantly trashing the UFC. They don't want their greats to fight. It's not that they don't want their greats to fight. They don't want their greats to end up like Muhammad Ali. And they understand that if you were a fan because of Ronda Rousey, you're a fan of the UFC. Now they're working on the next generation because time constantly passes. So now people are interested in other fighters. So it's not like they're just trashing on them. It's just that's what happens in the workforce. And I hate it when people constantly say that they're being disrespectful. Rhonda, do you think that my job cares about me in 20 years from now? No, I don't feel sorry for you because everybody goes through it. And some scale or the other, you were able to be looked at, worshipped, and will live forever in the UFC and MMA. I don't feel sorry for you at all. So, fuck Ronda. You know what? Let's go to the NFL way too early.
Breaking before we go.
SGA won the MVP.
SGA back to back.
We'll get.
You want to know why?
NBA.
Because Drake's new album just dropped. Okay, that's why. He won.
Man, he didn't even shout him out. He took a picture with Wemby, but we'll get to that to basketball.
I just wanted to break it.
I feel that. So
live
because the draft is over for the most part. We understand free agency, except probably a few more moves, and you can just kind of in your head guess what those moves are. Like AJ Brown to the Patriots. People are saying that's almost automatic, even though we don't know. So there's some trickery like Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini, wink, wink. But let's go through and give our way too early predictions on who makes the playoffs. We'll start with the NFC, and we'll just go 7 seed, 6 seed, and so 7 seed. Cam, I'll start with you. Who do you think is going to be the 7 seed in the NFC?
7 seed.
For reference, last year it was the Packers.
Yeah. 7 seed. Give me. Man.
And they didn't sneak in. They had a good record at the
Yeah.
7 seed.
They snuck
It's
in.
just
There were
them.
3 teams tied at 9 and 8. There are 2 teams tied at 9 and 8. They were 9, 7 and 1. With
9,
not
7.
a
Yeah,
tie.
the
There
tie
you
with
go.
the Cowboys. Yeah.
Give me a man. Fuck.
Well, take your time, man.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
I
go
know.
first. Give me Detroit.
See,
me
you know, I
Detroit. I
was gonna
think-
go there, but go ahead. Sorry.
That was it. I said, give me Detroit.
Well, you said.
Yeah,
Well, then you
dude,
said, but
Detroit.
my bad.
No, I'm saying
I
give
was
me
gonna
Detroit
go
just
Detroit,
because.
but I think Detroit's on the downward spiral.
I agree.
Give me Minnesota.
Isaac.
With 9 or Kai? 9 or Kai?
With
at the helm?
Kyler. Yeah, with Kyler.
Man,
sure.
I'm missing.
With Calamari
I'ma miss
as the
them.
starting quarterback.
I'm gonna miss them 9 memes though, bro. I'm gonna miss them. Isaiah, who's your 7?
Man, you know, I like the idea of Minnesota being in there, but I don't have them as a 7. I got them winning the division. I like the idea.
Oh, so you're jumping up in the top 4 already.
No. I'm just saying.
Give us your
overall.
7
We're
seed,
at
goddamn it.
7.
No, a good. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons as the 7th seed.
Yeah,
Tua.
like
I can see
Atlanta.
that. All right, 6 seed. Last year, for reference, it was the Niners. In the 6 seed, give me Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't care if it's 9 or calamari.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles as the 6th seed.
Ooh. Give me
I'm interested now, Isaiah. You just wait, though.
the New York Football Giants.
That's
That's-
why I was
Ooh.
curious, brother. That's why I was curious, but
Ooh.
I rock with it, Cam. I rock with it. They've had some moves in the new head.
Yeah.
Hey, I could see it, especially, all right, 5 seed. Last year, it was the Rams. For me, the 5 seed for me, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll agree to that. I'll agree to those terms. I'll do the same.
Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
I can see that.
Okay.
All right. The 4 seed. Last year, it was
So the-
Carolina.
These
This
are all
year,
division winners.
yes,
Yeah.
these are the division winners. In the 4 seed, give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Give me the Rams right here. Give me the Rams at
Okay.
the 4 seed.
Give me Dallas.
The Dallas Cowboys.
3 seed. Last year, this was Philly. This year, give me the Green Bay Packers.
And give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Chicago.
2 seed. Last year, it was the Chicago Bears. This year, give me the LA Rams.
Give me the Green Bay Packers.
Ugh, man. See, I think I fucked up. But give me the man. God damn it, dude. Give me Carolina.
All right. And I have to pick from the NFC South and the 1, and it's easy for me. This is going to be a hot take, fellas. Give me the Saints.
The Saints with Shaw?
Oh, shook? You getting shucked tonight?
Shuck.
You getting shucked tonight?
Man.
You getting
The
shucked
Saints
tonight?
as your 1 seed?
I screwed up in it because I didn't put. If I had to switch, I would go.
Yeah,
I
I
would go
messed
Saints
up.
at the 4 seed. The 3 seed, I would go Dallas. The 2 seed, I would go probably the Rams. Still, I would keep the Rams. And the 1 seed, I would go Chicago.
I put the Lions at the 7. Man, that means mathematically I got to pick either the Panthers or the Saints. Give me the Saints.
That's
See,
what I ran
that's
into.
where I was, bro. That's where I was.
I've
When I
gridlocked
said
myself.
when I
Let's
said I
flip
think I
some
fucked
shit.
up, I didn't want to put Carolina. I think Carolina's going to win that division, but as a 2 seed, I don't know.
Nah, I'd put
But
that's making him win
I'd
like
go
13,
NFC.
14 games.
I'd go NFC South in the 4 seed, 3 or 4 seed. I'd go the NFC East in the 3 or 4 seed, and then
And
the
the
2
North.
seed. The 2 seed, I think it's going to be the Rams, the Seahawks, or the Niners in that division,
Yeah.
and then the 1 seed,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Chicago. It'll be either Chicago or Green Bay, honestly.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I like it, but we'll see. And then
Yeah. I like mine, except I'd flip flop. Because
I'd flip not
I
having the
had
Saints as the
Chicago
1
at the
seed.
3 seed.
Respectfully.
I'd probably flip them to 2 and put Carolina, because I think Carolina's going to be better. I think they did a lot of good stuff. Like,
I hope so. That
and
division
that
is just
division's so
fun.
trash. Yeah.
Well, it's just
so,
it's so weird because one year, first off, the Falcons have been supposed to be good for like 12 years now.
Yeah.
And every
I'm not
year
a
they just and then the Panthers 1 year, the Bucks 1 year, and then we're still
And
the
just-
Saints have to pop up eventually. Yeah,
It's
as
all
bad
that
as I want to
humidity,
watch,
bro.
as bad
It's
as I
hard
want to
to
watch, Baker succeed, man, I just feel like losing Mike
Do you
Evans is
think
going to
time
be a
has finally
huge.
passed him by? Do you think we're
No,
looking at
I just think their defense has been, their defense
Abysmal.
has been getting old. Yeah, and then they got rid of Mike Evans, who I think makes a bigger impact for 2 teams than a lot of people give him credit for. Because I think Tampa Bay is going to hurt, and I think San Francisco is going to. I mean, I think he's going to, because he went to he went to 9. Yeah,
But
so
to be honest with you, I don't think that it was a bad move from the Bucks because injuries were starting to catch up
Yeah.
with him. He's 32, 33 years old now. The money that they were going to pay him to stay, they've injected more youth with their receiving core. So why not have Baker, who's a veteran at this point, imprint on them what he needs as a quarterback to be successful,
Yeah.
to make them successful.
I think it
See,
was
that's
a good
why-
future.
but so
Yeah.
like, well, real quick, I got the Rams in my 1 seed. But last year, if you think back, 5 games into the season, Baker was a front runner for Heisman. Good God.
Yeah,
the
well, he
MVP.
won that one.
And no shit. He was a front runner for the MVP when he had all of his weapons. But the moment Mike Evans went down, Tampa Bay fell apart. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's built such a rapport with Mike Evans in the short time he's been there that, and maybe a training camp without him where they can build a game plan that doesn't center around Mike Evans will help. But I just look at what they did the moment he got hurt and how the season collapsed. I mean, I think they were 4-1 after week 5, and Baker was killing.
Something like that.
And then Mike Evans went
Well,
down, and they
also,
lost another
to
receiver.
Mecca
Yeah, like
That
and
usually
Jalen McMillan.
that usually happens though in the NFL. There's usually the guys that come out like Kyler K1 in Arizona, for instance. He had like 3 years in a row. The first 4 or 5 games of the year, he was front runner for MVP, and then they fell off a cliff. And it's like Mateer did it last year. It was injury, but it also the strength of the schedule as you get into it improved. Like it gets harder, and it makes it to where you're not just going to ball out the way you did. But Mike obviously getting hurt, it hurts, and I think that's why they were like, "Hey, we have to," because are we a Super Bowl team with? Yeah, are we a Super Bowl team with Mike Evans? If the answer is no, then we need to start working to build to be a Super Bowl team. So I was fine with it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it doesn't make him better now, but maybe it does in the future. But AFC side, 7 seed last year was the Chargers. This year, give me Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 7 seed. I do not see them winning the division. I see them starting strong. They just re-signed Perk Rogers, 9-10 wins. I think that's around what they're going to give you, and sneak in as a 7 seed. And I think they go to the 2 seed and get absolutely obliterated just to continue to fall schedule, because for some reason they think that a 40-plus-year-old quarterback is going to win you a Super Bowl, when in fact there's only been one 40-year-old quarterback to win a Super Bowl, and that quarterback's name is the Billy Goat, Tom Brady. And not everybody's Tom Brady. It's one of those where it's like everybody wants to be Tom Brady until it's time to be Tom Brady. But 7 seed Pittsburgh. Isaiah, I can't hear shit you're saying, bud. Nope, still can't. Anyways, Cam. Nope.
You know what? Give me the Denver Broncos as a 7 seed.
I could see that with
Bo
what's
Nix
his
being
name?
hurt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
You
jackass.
got the Denver Broncos at the 7th seed.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the one to do it.
The Miami
Give me
Dolphins.
the Las Vegas Raiders
Ooh,
at the
okay.
7th seed.
Hey, speaking of which, shout out to the Raiders for their schedule video, like the drop
Oh yeah,
where
the
Kirko.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
You gotta
Y'all
call
did
me
something
Kirko
right.
Chains.
Yeah, bro. Y'all did y'all did something right, and
Mhm.
that's the only time you'll ever hear me say anything good about the Raiders. So what we got the Steelers from me, Cam you gave the Broncos, Isaiah you said the Raiders. So 6 seed. Last year it was the Buffalo Bills. This year I'm gonna stick in that division. Give me the Patriots.
Ooh. You know, I would be remiss if I don't refer back to what I said, and it made KG very pissed off at me when I said the Patriots aren't going to make the playoffs, and I'm sticking to it. People don't forget. All right, at the 6th seed for me, go ahead and give me the Chargers. Go ahead and give me the Chargers.
Okay.
Do the Chargers at the 6th seed.
Cam.
Give me give me the Patriots.
Yeah.
I like the Patriots there.
Heck yeah. Five seed. Last year it was the Houston Texans. This year, give me the Jaguars. Give me the Jags.
I agree. I'll keep him there. I'll keep him there.
And I think the division will come down to a game or two in y'all's division.
At the 5 seed, give me
Don't do it to him.
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dang, was that a clean sweep? Okay.
Was it a
That was a
clean
clean
sweep
sweep.
at the 5?
Hey,
I just
hey.
man, they're
Okay.
I don't know, man. They're
Can we go ahead and talk about how many wins that it's going to take to have a 5
I haven't
seed
seen
in
the
the
11.
AFC?
Oh, how many? For
11.
the
Yeah.
5 seed, 10 or 11. 10 or
All right.
11 will get you the 5
and here's
seed.
the crazy thing. Y'all remember last year when I said Jacksonville would win 10 games and win the division?
Mhm.
Y'all remember why I said that?
The schedule?
Yeah,
Schedule.
because the schedule.
That's why
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the 5 seed.
Yeah, that's
Their
exactly
schedule
what I
is
was
low
thinking.
key tough. I mean, I looked and they said that they had like the 11th easiest schedule. But when I look at that fucking schedule, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Division winners. You're playing a
Bro.
division winner schedule, bro. That shit is never
Man.
easy.
I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
But I do think that we'll take a step in the right direction. You know, it's hard unless you just have a stranglehold on the division. It's hard to win back to back divisions. So
Yeah.
Back to back
I
to
just
back
want
to back to back
I
to
just
back
want them
to
to,
back.
you know, have a winning record, compete for the playoffs, and let the rest ride the way it should. If they
I
get
get
to the
that.
playoffs, I like what they can do.
Yeah. The 4 seed last year was the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10 wins, which is crazy because last year, Isaiah, you were asking, the 5 seed was 12 wins last year, but I don't think it'll be that much this year. But for the 4
Yeah.
seed, give me the Houston Texans off of defense alone. I think.
Yeah.
I
That's where I had
Yeah,
him.
CJ, I think he'll improve from what he was last year. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but I mean, anything in the right direction is an improvement of that dog shit that he put out last year. That defense, I think, is stellar, and I think they'll be good enough to barely squeak by Jacksonville for the division. The Colts, I know they have Indiana Jones coming back. I expect to see Danny Dimes this year and not Indiana Jones.
At
Peep this,
9
This is
and
good.
8.
Mm.
At
Oh,
9 and
okay.
8, give me to win the division on a made field goal.
The Pittsburgh
Give me
Steelers.
the Baltimore Ravens.
God.
Ooh,
Getting it done this year.
Damn. I see it. The rookie came in, he
Mm.
tricked one off, and then Justin Tucker probably gave him a call and was like, "You want me to tell you how you make them kicks? Go get tugged, son."
Look, I know this massage parlor, right? It's
Robert
all
Kraft
180
goes and visits it too, and so does Deshaun Watson. We're all in a group text message. So we got
I'm
Houston,
just not
Houston, and
I'm not a believer in Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry. I know you're
And-
excited, and maybe down the road
I got him as
But-
a 7th seed. I ain't excited about it with Perk Rogers coming back. Like I said, here's a stat, and I'll give you to pause. I'll say this.
I'm gonna give it to you.
But this is why, because you can look at clips. What people do is people look at certain clips of what Aaron Rodgers did last year, and they see some of the throws that he can make at specific times. But when you look into the numbers, you see that he was 26 out of 32 in QBR his last year in Green Bay. He was closer to his prime then with a better offense or modern offense than what they have right now. Has he played with Mike McCarthy? Absolutely. Steve Nash was one of the best point guards in the league whenever he was with Phoenix and Mike D'Antoni. When Mike D'Antoni was coaching the Lakers and Steve Nash was there, he was hot garbage.
Yeah.
Hot garbage. It's the same thing. People just can't turn the chapter, bro.
Yeah.
But that's
I just feel like y'all's division every year is just everybody beats up on each other. Whereas like the AFC South, this is why I'm picking 2 out of the South and not out of the North.
Because the South
will
rise again. We'll rise.
I just feel like in the South there's always
This
one
turquoise
or
don't
2
run, brother.
great teams and 2 hot trash teams.
Yes.
In the North, I feel like every year all 4 of them are pushing for the playoffs, and I just don't think the second one. I don't think they'll win enough games to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it'll be like 9-8, and you'll win by a head-to-head tiebreaker kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel that.
So,
I feel that.
anyways.
You know, I'm leaning. I can't leave the Steelers out. It's just
we're on the 3 seed now.
Yeah, the 3 seed last year was Jacksonville. The 3 seed this year, give me Buffalo Bills.
Give me the Denver Broncos here at the 3 seed.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna gloss over until we get to the end. But Cam, 3 seed.
Give me the LA Chargers at 3.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I like that. 2 seed last year, it was the New England Patriots. This year, sorry, Steelers Nation, I vibe with y'all tough. I'm a diehard, but I'm a realist first. I like Zach Manor. I like what they've done. Yes, the Max Crosby trade and rescind is a mark and a scar, but they had more cap space to fill needs, and they were able to get Iowone from Penn State, which helps their offensive line, which is going to help their run game. It's going to protect Lamar. 2 seed Baltimore Ravens. Isaiah?
Buffalo Bills.
Cameron?
Give me the Houston Texans at the 2 seed behind a potential MVP run from CJ.
From CJ?
Yep.
Cam, look, you be giving hot takes,
He's-
and
bro,
you might
he's
be
due.
on
some shit.
He's due,
due.
goddammit.
You're right. You're
He's
right.
due.
You're right. People
What a
just
if
want
he
better
doesn't make it
opportunity than
happen,
to get a
do they
non-division
move
winner
on?
schedule.
facts.
That's just my
Facts.
opinion. And they were hot. They were hot at the end of the year, just like Jacksonville. You know, and
Yeah,
they have an
they-
easier schedule.
And their team was if they would have had just Sam Darnold quarterback play last year, they would have been the Patriots wouldn't have beat them. So we'll get
Yeah.
that. And for the
Yeah.
1 seed last year, it was the Denver Broncos. And here we go. Here we go. Because it's back. They took a year off, fellas. Chiefs Nation.
You got the Kansas
City
City
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. Eric Bieniemy's back. They're about to get Tyreek Hill back. Offensive line will be fine. I truthfully think the Kansas City Chiefs will be back at the top. And I think it's more likely that the Chiefs are at the 1 seed than the Chiefs miss the playoffs altogether.
Give me the Cincinnati Bengals right here at the 1 seed, baby. Let's go.
Get your
Let's
monkey
go.
ass out of here, bro.
Give
Hell
me the
no.
Cincinnati
Fuck
Bengals
Joe
right now.
Burrow. He
The
overrated.
Cincinnati
Joe Burrow
Bengals.
is a
Right now,
bum.
cuz.
Joe Burrow
Right
is
now,
a
cuz.
bum. A bum,
We're
you
going,
hear me?
We're going
He's a bum
all
rock.
in,
He's
baby.
a bum rock. Yeah, he,
All in. They got Sexy Dexy. They got the clogger in
Man,
there.
look,
It's game.
you
It's
know, they
game
don't
over.
have-
Give me 13 wins for
They
them.
don't have a fucking
An offensive line.
they're gonna. You remember?
It don't matter.
You remember the old Madden games? Whenever it would you would tear your ACL, but you'd run off the field holding your wrist. That's Joe Burrow,
Yes.
baby.
That's definitely Joe Burrow.
Oh, or when they used to have to wheel the ambulance on the field. And wee. That's Joe Burrow. And
I'm just joking.
No, hell no, keep that. I'll edit.
No, I
I'll
really
edit
want the
anything else you
the
say.
Ravens are the ones
Anything
that-
you say, I'm editing it out. Hell
I
no.
was just really gonna say the Ravens,
Alright.
but I was just joking about the Bengals.
Nah,
I don't
bruh.
think the Bengals make
Nah,
the playoffs.
you got to stand on it. Pause. All right, Cam. Who?
At one,
Yeah, I didn't have the Patriots in there.
give me at the 1 seed. Give me the Buffalo Bills with Joe Brady and DJ Moore coming to give Josh Allen some fucking help.
Okay. Now,
I honestly think that Joe Brady's gonna feed DJ Moore on Stephon Diggs level
Yes,
proportions
bro.
with the ball.
Just something, because
They're going to make him at least get 7 to 8 targets a game, if not more. And that's just going to make James Cook be James Cook like he's always been.
yeah.
hear me out, because I'm the reason I had them at 3, and homie in the chat over on YouTube, shouts out. I know him from TikTok lives. The Buffalo Bills have their offense will be better, but their defense is hot garbage. And I think that keeps them from being the 1 seed. I also think that their team is designed more for a playoff push than it is to dominate the regular season. And I think one thing that Joe Brady is going to do and understand is let's do what the Chiefs did with Mahomes, which is let's take the game out of your hands in the regular season. Let's stop chasing these MVPs. And let's make sure everything is in line for a playoff push, because that's more important than you breaking records in the regular season and being James Harden, essentially. But
yeah,
hey,
man, last year they were a 5. They were a 5 or a 6 seed. They were a 5.
Who Buffalo
seed.
was 6?
No, 6. Yeah, at 12 and 5.
And they tricked,
bro, and they
tricked off like 2 of those games.
As much as I like their little slot guy,
Khalil.
Yeah, Shakur. I like Shakur, but
Me
bro,
too.
he's not a number 1 option.
This is hear me out. I've just pulled it
They
up.
do
too.
need help on defense.
Who's their? This is their schedule. They open up on the road against the Texans with that defense. They then get Detroit, which I think they beat Detroit. They then get the Chargers. Then you get the Patriots. Then you get the Rams. You get the Raiders after that. You get the Ravens, the Vikings. Then you get the Jets and the Dolphins. Then you get the Chiefs, the Patriots again, the Packers, the Bears, the Broncos, and then you finish with the Dolphins and the Jets.
I'm not worried about the Patriots.
You think that's one?
You want to know why I'm not worried about the fucking
material?
Patriots?
Why you ain't worried about the Patriots?
Tell him.
Because
Mike Vrabel and Diana.
Mike Vrabel has brought in so much distraction and
so much shame
and I think that,
to the franchise.
Like, I'm with Isaiah. I think they benefited majorly last year from what, a 4th place, 3rd place schedule in the division.
It was the easiest, wasn't it? It was the easiest or second easiest.
Like, dude,
it was the easiest schedule.
I'm not saying they won't be good. I just think that,
they'll be like the Lions last year.
Yeah. Like, that's
I'll put it to you in this way. A lot of those games too, they were winning by field goals.
Hey, why are you hating?
A lot of No, I'm not hating. I'm just saying their margins of victory, like their record could look a little tainted in the sense of like they won one game 10-13.
Yeah.
It's like that offense at times was struggling. They couldn't find a decent rhythm. Game in and game out, their defense always played good.
Okay.
I'm not knocking it. Well, until the Super Bowl, their defense played good.
Hey, question from the chat before we keep it pushing too.
Okay.
If Buffalo doesn't make it far, what's going to be their excuse?
It's going to be defense, but they shouldn't have it. There's no fucking excuse,
bro.
No,
there's
no
excuse.
have built. Josh Allen has had an opportunity when he had a great defense. He had an opportunity when he had a number 1 in Stephon Diggs. He's had the number 1 rushing offense in the league. Like, dude, there's no excuse.
What else
if he can't,
does it take
if he
from
can't get
him
it done
to
this year?
get there?
They got rid of the head coach.
I mean,
he was a
Lamar.
scapegoat. Who I thought McDermott was a great coach.
So the one thing that I think he was all right. I just think he was all right only on one side of the ball. He was not good off or defensively. But what I'll say is they have a weak schedule, like, or not weak, a weak division. Like, you get the Dolphins twice, you get the Jets twice, and then the Patriots up until last year were hot garbage. So it's a little bit different from Baltimore, because even in the AFC North, if people think that Cleveland is a joke, you got to block Myles Garrett for a full game, and that shit ain't easy.
Yeah.
And then with Cincy, 1 week they'll go off for 50 points, and if you get caught in that week, boys, curtains. And then with Pittsburgh, like, I mean, it may not look good, it may look ugly, but like, let's be real, it's hard to beat Pittsburgh. And with Mike McCarthy, it's probably going to be different than Mike Tomlin, but man, I'm telling you, that secondary is not going to be no joke.
with Buffalo's schedule, you're looking at a lot of potential games that could go down as like absolute classics with what you just announced. I mean, playing the Pats twice. I mean, not even the Pats. Playing the Ravens, playing the Chiefs, playing who else do you say, Marlon? Do you still
The
have it up?
Rams? No, I don't.
The Rams.
See, man,
Like
Yeah, I got it though.
in that game
Bears.
against the Rams, that game against the Rams last year was an absolute fucking barn
So the
burner.
only
I don't know if y'all remember
yes,
that game.
they get a lot of it early though, so that'll help
But
them
see, like,
because
yeah,
the Bills
like,
like to start early.
I
Yeah.
just, and I'm not a dude. Listen, I'm not a hater of the
Take your time.
Chiefs. Jacksonville did in the dynasty. It started there, so fuck them. But
Look,
Pat
I
Mahomes
think
coming
that
off injuries, Tyreek Hill coming off injuries. The Chiefs,
Tyreek Hill
the-
hasn't signed yet, so
the
everybody just
Chiefs-
calm down.
okay,
Let's be
but
real, Isaiah.
the Chiefs, the only reason the last 2 years that their offense was any good at all was because Pat Mahomes
The Chiefs
is a
just
fucking
traded
magician.
2 first-rounders for Justin Jefferson.
Get the fuck out of here! You're lying.
I'm joking.
I was
But
about
you
to
see,
say,
no,
you see
bro,
how
get the
quick
fuck-
that
I
shit
was
can
like-
change your mind.
I know, but what I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is like Pat
You done pissed
Mahomes
me off, okay?
being the magician that he is the only reason why the offense has been like even remotely worth a damn for 2 or 3 years now. Because Kelsey hasn't been doing shit. They got rid of Tyreek. Like they have no receivers. Their running game has been a disaster. But I just and that's why I'm picking the Chargers to win that division because I just Mahomes isn't going to be Mahomes coming off that injury. Maybe next year.
Man,
nobody
Mahomes
ever
about to
comes
be Adrian
back.
Peterson.
Yep, no. Nobody not named Adrian Peterson is coming back like that, bro. Sorry. And I'm
10
pretty sure
anytime-
Peterson is. Well, hey, what
Look,
we bet on
I
last?
just
oh,
don't think
was it
they-
the Jacksonville game? Jacksonville
Yeah,
Fit?
hell
Was that what we bet on?
Yeah, Jacksonville about to get
look,
smacked.
I firmly believe that they won't make the playoffs, and it has everything to do with their defense is starting to get old,
Oh,
and they
man,
lost a lot of
Trey
secondary help.
McDuffie, bro. All pro corner. Come on, man.
The thing is if you look at the numbers, McDuffie had taken a step back last year. He wasn't what he was at one point, and they've done it consistently. I think their defense is more built around a team defense more than it is just individual players. And then also because last year was we've been in the AFC Championship
Bro.
5 out of the last 6 years. We're tired.
We're
Give us a break.
tried.
And I think that
I
reset.
tried to tell y'all before the Jaguars game last year, Kansas City is a dynasty that is dying.
No, okay.
The
So
only
hear me out.
reason why they were good the year before is because their defense, and then they just had luck on their side.
Hear me out.
Last year they didn't have the luck, and they sucked.
I'll
Stop
finish it.
beatboxing.
I'll finish it
Jeez.
with this. This is my last point before we go to the NBA. The reason I have the Chiefs as the 1 seed, they're not getting a division winner schedule. That's
Yeah,
1.
That helps.
For
yeah.
2, they get their health back. And 3, I think they run through the regular season and they struggle in the playoffs.
I will tell you this: when it comes to the Chiefs, them having Eric Bieniemy back makes me a little bit more hesitant on not picking them to win a division. I just don't know how Mahomes is going to come back, and I just don't believe in the weapons they have on the perimeter. That's my
Until-
only reason.
Until
I think the Chargers won the division, but I don't think they're that good either. Like I'm not a
I-
believer in Herb Dog.
I truthfully think that the Broncos have a better. Well, no, because they're playing the division. Man,
and they
I
lost
don't
their
know.
quarterback, bro. I
But
just,
he'll be back like week 3, week 4. But even then, their defense is solid. I feel the same way about the Chargers as I do the Falcons. I've been waiting on them to take a step forward for the last 3 years, and every year when people go through the who's going to win the division, who do we think takes a step forward, it's always, well, Harbaugh's a winner and this and that, and it's like, when the fuck is he going to win? When is he
Yeah.
going to take that step forward? Because we just watched Denver do what everybody's been waiting on him to do, and it's just like, y'all aren't getting any better. What weapons is he throwing to? Your offensive line, your defense,
Okay.
like it's a lot.
Can we really quick, Marlon?
Yeah.
Before we move on, I hate to bring it up. Let's just quickly go WL on the Chiefs' schedule, really quick. So we got the Broncos.
hold on
Dub.
before we start. When is Mahomes projected to be back? Beginning of the
Week
season?
1,
Week 1? Okay.
Week 1.
right.
Yeah.
So who?
So
Broncos
we got the
at
Broncos
home or road
dub.
versus
versus
So
at
they're
home. Win.
Yeah. Okay. Colts,
Dub.
Dub.
Miami,
Dub.
Raiders,
Dub.
Dub.
Chargers,
L.
Hey,
Seahawks.
hold on. Okay, yeah. 2 L's.
Broncos again.
L.
Jets.
Beating them by 100.
Yeah.
Falcons.
Beating them by 100.
I'm gonna take an L. Is it at Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Loss.
Yeah.
It's Tua.
Mhm. Okay.
Ooh.
Arizona.
Dub.
Yeah. Win.
Bills.
I'm going to give
Loss.
that a dub.
Okay. Bills. Rams.
L.
Bengals.
L. Because it's in Cincy.
Patriots.
Dub.
Patriots. 49ers.
In Kansas City. Dub.
Chargers.
Dub.
And Raiders. So you got them with 4 losses.
Because they have 4 or 5 tough games, and the rest of it is cupcake. I don't think they're the best team, but I think everything lines up for them to run through the regular season again. There's going to be a lot of iffy 50-50 games, and it's going to come down to like field goals and stuff. But I can't until they get mowed over, and it's just obvious. I can't. I did it with the Patriots when Brady tore his ACL. I was like, man, he's not coming back doing the same thing, and they did it. They did it. So, and they didn't make it to the Super Bowl immediately. It was a large gap from the last dub that he took until they got back because they were getting smacked by the Broncos and other teams, the Ravens, all kinds of teams. But they were 1 seed, 2 seed, and that's why. That's just it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious on something.
I'm just making sure that as an overall one with a bye, that's all I was getting at. But I'm good on.
I'm curious on something.
I just
How do
wanted
they
to bring it up real quick
because maybe I'm just not thinking. How do they build the schedules? And the reason I ask is because Jacksonville went to Denver, 2 Mile High last year in like week 16.
So the
Beat them
home
to
and
oblivion,
away,
and they have to go back to Mile High again this year. I don't
Brad, the
understand that.
Steelers have played their last 3 times playing Philly has been on the road, right? So the home and away, which one those are, I think they just be pulling that shit out of a hat. But the
Yeah.
way they build the schedule is if you're a division winner, you get a division winner schedule, so you're
right.
going to play division winners. But it rotates.
Yeah.
So the NFC, if you're an AFC team, you play an NFC division. So you'll play the NFC East 1 year, the West 1 year, the South, and then the North 1 year. Then you play your division, obviously, and then you play an AFC division, and then there's also some games that they just throw in there. So
Yeah, I think the games that they throw in is you play the second place finisher in a different division.
yes,
Or
a couple
I think
different
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
because the
I
Steelers
knew-
are playing the Eagles, who won the division. They're playing.
I knew all that. I just didn't know how they decide by home and away. I'm trying to figure out why we got to go to Mile High 2 years in a row. What the fuck is that?
the little app you can get that just spins that I've been using on fantasy. That's what they do. Home or away, and just
for the most part.
Yeah, but all right, final topics. NBA playoffs. Let's start with the Wemby elbow. Wemby threw a prime John Jones elbow to Naz Reid. He went to sleep. Well, he should have. Good. He got a chin on him. What did y'all think of the Wemby elbow? Do you think that he should have been suspended for a game? And what's the biggest shock that came out of it for y'all?
I don't understand.
First-time offender.
Personally. First-time offender, whatever. This man looked at Naz Reid in his face, loaded his elbow up, and hit him right in the jugular. I don't understand. Like, I knew, like, because my brother and I were watching it, and I was like, they're not. Well, I guarantee you they don't kick him out, just because. And then they ended up doing it, and I was like, oh, I applauded. I was like, wow, okay. But I'm curious how they don't, like. I hate the first time offender shit because I mean that was about as an egregious an elbow as I've ever seen. I mean, a couple inches higher and Naz Reid's either split or he's literally knocked out. He hits him on the chin. So I don't like that he didn't. If you're that blatant, that intentional with it, I feel like it should have come with a suspension, but it wouldn't have mattered. I think the Spurs are so damn deep, like just like the Thunder. I mean, dude, Dylan Harper is going to be a star. Stephon Castle's already there. They should have won the game even after he got tossed.
I'm a star.
Yeah, shit. You heard me. I'm a star. I ain't get no groceries.
Yeah,
But,
I figured he wasn't going to get suspended. I think the more shocking point for me is that he didn't get fined.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, really? Like I knew they weren't going to suspend him. It was early enough in the game where they could just say, "Oh, well, he missed most of the second, the third, and the fourth. That's enough in our eyes. He's first time offender. He hasn't had
Yeah.
any violence like that. Whatever, whoop-de-woo. And he's a superstar. We all understand they're going to get treated differently. But the fine thing, I was like, bro, you can cough at
He
a
should have
ref
got fined.
and get 100,000. And they were like, nah, we're cool.
They've
We
really
cool on
kind
that.
of laid back though, because even LeBron, dude, the way he was acting in the Thunder series towards the refs, I was like, God, man, you're not even gonna team up. Shit. Anyway, sorry, back to the Spurs.
No, that's what it is. Like I was shocked, but one thing that I'm very like, again, them kicking him out. I knew they weren't going to give him a game. I thought they could have gave him a game, but I think they didn't want to change the entirety of it. I also look back at Draymond when he kicked Steve-O in the balls. They didn't give him a game, and that was the second time he kicked him in the balls blatantly, and it took him to flick LeBron's nuts and call him a bitch before they were like, you're out of there. So just based off the history of the NBA, I knew they weren't going to. I agree. It was one of the most egregious elbows I've seen in a long time. But yeah.
I think that's the true version of the people's elbow.
Man, listen, I will say this in regards to the Thunder and the Spurs. People better understand.
Buckle up.
People better understand, because they did the poll, and the only state that rooted heavy for Oklahoma City was Oklahoma. Everybody else is rooting Spurs. People better understand. You think you hate the Thunder now. The Spurs are fixing to take over the fucking league. And Wemby is going to be the most hated player. And I would say probably NBA history. I mean, like, just because he's going to be so good, and that's the way it goes. Like they want the Spurs to win so bad because they're tired of OKC flopping, whatever. Once the Spurs climb that hill, the league is theirs, and the only thing, in my opinion, that's going to change that is if Wemby gets hurt. That's it. Because nobody's going to have an answer for him. Nobody.
Yeah, he changes the entire game, bro. Like he's very,
y'all are
very...
going to be so fucking tired of San Antonio after 7 years from now. Like, that's the way it's going to be. So I think the Thunder are going to beat the shit out of him this year, and it's going to toughen him up, kind of like what the Pistons did Jordan. And as soon as Wemby figures out how to be tough against the Thunder, and the Thunder don't have an answer for that, it's going to be the Spurs.
He knows how to be tough. We just seen it.
I think that's where that elbow came from, because how he was getting played by
that's what I was going to say.
McDaniels.
It was a couple of guys that there was I think 2 or 3 possessions before he got hit with an elbow, and then he was getting pushed. He got elbowed in the back, and then he was just like, man, at some point he had to retaliate. I think he knew
that was the prime Coach Campbell.
I think he knew Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out, and he heard Shao Kahn say, finish him, and he was like, special, yeah. But nah, it's yeah. But I agree, Cam. You want me? We can go like move over. Actually, Isaiah, give your take on the elbow and stuff first, and then we'll pivot from there. And then once you're done with the elbow, just trend into how excited are you for the Spurs and the Thunder series?
I think the complication of guarding Wemby to start with is you don't know whether people are being too physical with him, or you don't know if people are playing good defense on him. 1, because he's skinny as fuck, and 2, it's because of his height. Like, he's such a question mark. That's why they call him the alien, because it's so complicated. You got a guy that could put the ball on the floor and shoot threes, but he'll play in the paint. So I think the physical play is maybe something that he was frustrated with that led to the elbow, because when he grabbed the board, Naz Reid was right up in his chest, and Jay McDaniels was behind him trying to reach for the ball as well. So I think when the foul got called, he was literally just trying to like rip through, but he also was like, oh yeah, and hit him with the elbow. Like, it was 100% intentional. He should have been tossed, but I think it came from a place of frustration because teams don't really know how to guard him. He had a horrible shooting night in the first game, and Rudy Gobert was actually playing him really well, but there's also a lot of history behind like Rudy Gobert and him. They came up together like Rudy Gobert's almost a mentor to him. So I think he should have been fined. I think the suspension thing wasn't going to come simply for the fact of he got tossed super early. That's basically serving a game suspension. My thoughts on the Thunder Spurs series. Hey, no matter what, I'm benefiting from it because I came from San Antonio and I moved here, so I'm Switzerland in this thing. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just excited. I said, "Buckle up, baby,"
Buckle up.
because I, I think it's gonna be a good series, one way or the other. You got a lot of youth with both teams. I agree with Cameron 100%. The maturation and the slow burn that you're getting from how Dylan Harper is playing,
Bro,
the boy's gonna be a
he is
problem.
a
It's just
stud.
the matter of it's just a matter of time. Let him slowly integrate himself because I could see within this offseason or next, just depending on how it goes, they're due to pay way too much money to De'Aaron Fox. Well, Dylan Harper is a younger, more polished, better shooting version of De'Aaron Fox right now. So if there's a team willing to take his contract, I think that they move on from him pretty quick. They also have an opportunity to draft and develop the way the Spurs only know how with that franchise. And as far as the Thunder, they've been here before. They've done it
So
before.
stupid.
So
Sorry, not you, Isaiah, but
so
come on.
let's
It's too late now. You can
so
see.
let's
You
do
got
it.
them shades on. Isaiah, you're
Yeah.
100% right. For me, and out of us three, I am the casual NBA fan because it's so. In my opinion, I want to say this is what it is. The Spurs and the Thunder have separated themselves so far that I watched the playoffs and I was like, just watching some games, I knew what it was. So I wasn't excited until this series. I'm going to be locked in. And I'm a Lakers fan. But I understand, like, this is the only series that I look at and I say, man, this can actually go either way. And those are the series that I enjoy watching as a fan. I don't like watching blowouts. I don't like watching 4-1s or sweeps and stuff. This is the only series that I think could go either way. There's already a rivalry brewing. Wemby's been talking crazy. And honestly, like, I'm sitting here going like, damn, as a Lakers fan, I don't like either one of these teams like that. But I do think these are the best teams in the league. And honestly, for me, this is the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what's seen as the finals because whoever comes out of this. Now I will say before. Sorry, Cameron. I will say that the only problem that could really be posed right now is the Knicks. And I think the reason why I say the Knicks is because the Knicks are fucking scorching hot right now as far as shooting the
Right now,
basketball.
we'll see.
Putting up 144 points multiple times in the playoffs is basically unheard of. Let's see what happens when they play against a more defensive-minded team, but that's the only issue I could see with either team because when the Knicks get hot from the field, they're hotter than fucking fish grease right now. At least it's trending that way. And Cat isn't even an offensive threat right now, other than passing the ball. He's not even really scoring, and he has the ability to do that. So
Really?
that's the only interesting
Really?
point.
Oh my God. No, go ahead, Cam.
Yeah,
I will say
that's a
this.
foul.
I think, and y'all can hot take this. I think it's more likely the
For
Thunder
sure.
win in 5 than it is for them to lose the series. And the only
I can
reason
see
why
that.
I say that is because the Thunder have been there. They have had to gruel through game 7s a season ago and figure out how to get it out the mud. I don't know that the Spurs have done that in the playoffs yet. So I also think this year the Thunder have enough pieces because I think that's what Minnesota ran into is, they game planned Wemby and Dylan Harper started going crazy. They game planned Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle started getting his. When they started taking away the other options, then Wemby had his 39-point explosion. Like I just don't think they had enough to match up with the Spurs. The Thunder have enough and some. And I think people I think are putting way too much stock into what happened in the regular season. When the only game that the Thunder played the Spurs fully healthy, the Thunder won by 20. You know what I'm saying? They just beat the shit out of Wemby the entire game. And Wemby didn't like it. So I feel like there's a better chance this year the Thunder win in 5 than there is them losing the series. But I would not be surprised if they, if it goes 7 and the Spurs
Yeah,
win.
I think the NBA is gonna make it go 6 if we're being real.
Yeah.
But one thing, again, back to the Thunder dominating them by 20. The 20-point game, the explosion was not ref the same way that they're going to ref the playoff game.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see. I'm excited because this is going to be a physically defensive game. It's going to be flopping all over the court, but I don't care, honestly. I've seen it from Shea and Wemby where they will flop to try to get their calls. But once they realize them calls ain't coming, let's hoop. And that's the difference of why I don't mind them flopping as opposed to Embiid or Brunson or LeBron or Austin, where when they flop, they're not even going back on defense. They're like Shea and Wemby will still hoop, and then during a timeout, they may walk by and be like, "Bro, what's happening?"
I look at matchups, man, and I think the Thunder have more matchups. I think their shooters are better. McCain and Joe, I would take over Champagny and Keldon Johnson.
I'm curious to see both teams how they match up and how they're going to look because I think they both had mismatches everywhere, and this is the first series. I don't think both sides will have just constant mismatches all over the court. There's going to be matchups that they can exploit and things like that, but I'm curious to see. But here's a question. I lost it. Damn it.
When's Dub coming back?
Dub's coming. He's fully healthy. He could have came back game 3.
Okay, so
I'm more excited. This is going to be crazy because everybody's excited about Wemby Chet. I think that's not even a matchup. I think we all know that now. I think
that was Wemby
dominates that matchup. I'm curious. I'm curious of one thing, and then I'm excited for one thing. I'm curious if the Thunder are going to put Hartenstein on Wemby and let free Chet up to Rome. And then the thing I'm excited about more than Wemby Chet, dude, I'm excited for Shea and Castle because they were talking hella shit in the last.
I love it,
bro.
I love it.
That's gonna be a fun.
That's how it's supposed to be.
But here's my question: X factors for both teams. Who has to show up every game? And I'm not talking about the Wembys, the Castles, the Sheas, and the Dubs. Those guys have to show up every game. For me, the Thunder, I think Chet has to be better against Wemby. I think he has to because the thing honestly, and Shea's even alluded to it. The thing that makes the Thunder is Chet. Since Chet has played, they've been in the Western Conference Finals at least.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he has to be better against Wemby. But for the Spurs, I think Harper has to show up too. And I think these games are going to hinge on who shows up and who doesn't. And I'm excited. I wish they started this shit tonight.
You want me to be honest with you? I think go ahead, Cameron. I have a couple points I want to get to.
You said who has to show up. Who swings this series is what the question is. For me, it has to be a combination of Dort, Queso, and Caruso. They have to show up offensively. Dort has to be able to knock down threes because that's who Wemby's going to play. They're going to put Wemby on Dort and let him roam and make Dort hit threes. Same thing with Queso. Same thing with Caruso. They're going to let them shoot. And once they start hitting, then I think they switch and put Wemby on, Chet or whatever. That's my opinion.
Who loses the minutes with Dub coming back the most is my
McCain.
That's one point that I want to make. And then
but still, even then, man, that's so tough though. But I think
I don't like the idea of McCain losing minutes. That's my thing.
Especially in this
I think
series.
Queso should get more. I think Caruso should get about 10 to 15. My honest opinion. And the reason I say that is because you want him in there for probably your most important 10 to 15 minutes of every game. Outside of that, because he's such a spark on the defensive side of the ball, and then he runs so much in transition in comparison to you don't see Dort running down the court in transition the way that Caruso does. And I think that's why you need him for the most 10 to 15 important minutes of the game. My point that I was going to make was, who is the second big man for the Spurs that could cause an issue for Chet if Wemby gets in foul trouble? It's Luke. It's Cornette. Well, what if they do double big and now Wemby's sitting and it's Cornette and you got Chet and Hartenstein on the floor at the same time.
I just
It won't,
One
I
of
don't think
them
it'll be
has to
them. I
show
think
up.
it'll be Dub in one of them too, or other Jalen Williams in one of them.
Yeah, which I think Jalen Williams he plays so outside. I don't
But
Do you
think
know
he's
why-
that much
it's going
of
to
a
be matchup
factor.
You know
based
why
because you
Cornette
run in, you'll catch him.
Mhm.
You know why Cornette is an X factor though, in my opinion? Because what do you do to the Thunder to beat them? You rebound the shit out of the ball, and that's what Cornette he gets in there
Yeah.
and bangs for rebounds, and like
Yeah.
when he's out there with that unit full of shooters that San Antonio deploys. He's out there with Keldon
Mhm.
Johnson, Champagnie. There's another. Who's the other? Because Castle and Harper can't shoot.
Harrison
Yeah,
fucking Barnes.
like they put him out
Harrison
there with
Barnes,
them, and
baby.
so like I equate him to TJ McConnell.
and Vassell.
Like a big version of TJ McConnell. He goes out there and he does the ugly shit.
I think
And when he rebounds, he kicks it out to them damn shooters. And
the only problem that I could see with this series is the depth of the Thunder fucking up their rhythm.
I don't think it will.
I have a better question for y'all.
To a degree.
Yeah. What's the question?
Dub's coming back. Man, do you bring Dub off the bench?
What?
No.
AJ Mitchell's been hot as shit.
No, because I think AJ he's trusted more now to run more bench minutes and get longer runs whenever you are resting Shea.
I don't bring Dub off the bench either, just so I'm putting my stance. But it is an interesting question because AJ Mitchell's been playing so well in the starting unit.
But I will say this. I think if Dub comes out and he starts struggling trying to get his legs back under him and things like that, I think they will yank him and put AJ in and feel comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My biggest X factor for sure, I think.
For sure.
On the Spurs side, to me, it has to be De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I think Dylan Harper is going to be nice and easy, get you 10 to 15, get you the buckets that you need when the Spurs are struggling. He's been proven and known to do that. De'Aaron Fox has got to have some sort of consistency on the offensive side of the ball because he is so up and down that he has, in my opinion, he has caused the Spurs to lose games with his inconsistencies. I think with Castle, Castle's going to give you about 15 to 18. He's going to lock up the best player on the other team. He's going to rebound, and he's going to get you about 8 assists a night, right? We know that. Wemby should get you 20, 10, and 5. Okay, Vassell is going to get you 10 to 15 because he's a volume shooter. What is De'Aaron Fox going to do game in and game out? Because right now they're paying him way too much money to be as inconsistent as he's been. He's got to show up in this series for the Spurs to truly have a chance to make it to the NBA Finals. And on the Thunder side of the ball, with the amount of depth that they have coming off the bench, I think the biggest X factor for them is finding the rhythm of their rotations now that Dub is back, whatever that looks like. That's why I said Caruso, give him the most important 10-15. If some people start lacking with being able to guard people on the Spurs, who's getting the least amount of minutes? Is it Queso? Is it Dort? Is it Caruso? How many minutes does McCain get? Because one game, McCain got a minute of play, hit a 3, and then didn't play again. But now he's looking more like, hey, if you put him in the game and you give him at least 5 to 7 shots in the time that he's in the game, he's going to hit about 3 to 4 of them, and he's going to possibly swing the momentum in your favor. I think Isaiah Joe's been inconsistent. Aaron Wiggins doesn't even sift the court anymore. So
I think it all depends.
I think
though. It's hard to say what's going to happen with someone like McCain because it's hard for you to. The last thing that you have on your mind is like watching him against the Lakers, and it's like but it's like watching offenses play against the Bengals defense last year.
Yeah. I think
you can't really judge it
McCain's
the same.
kind of in that role that Nate Robinson was in with Boston. Like a spark plug role. Like you put him in, feel him out, see how he's feeling. He shoots a couple. If they look good, makes one, then 2 more minutes. If he doesn't, you rip him back out and put a more defensive or a more balanced player.
Queso.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I don't know, man. To me, it's because you need your defense out there.
Yep.
It just is a combination. Like they have to hit their open threes because San Antonio is going to give it to them. They're going to take away the lane. And they're going to
Yes, I
harass the
agree.
shit out of Shea. So those other guys have to hit their threes. And they've
See,
done
and
a great job of it all playoffs.
I think because of Wemby, it makes it harder because you don't like the Lakers when Shea drove, everyone had to collapse.
Yeah.
Spurs don't.
No,
They're all just gonna stick with the
it's just
shooters.
like the
So
Thunder. That's what makes them so fun because they're both built the same fucking
yes,
way. Like,
yes, and that's it's dope. But fellas, last quick topic. I don't want to go too far into it because it is what it is. What is next for LeBron James?
Cleveland,
Get him out of the league.
Cleveland.
Get him out.
Get him out.
Why? Lock him up. No, I honestly, LeBron James, the question mark of what he's going to do with his career, I think it'll be, we'll look at it and go, makes sense, and we won't be surprised. I mean, no matter what reports come out or what he ends up doing, I don't think there's any world where you're going to look at it and be like, LeBron James is going to the Charlotte Hornets. That's not going to happen. I think I think he's going to lobby to stay in LA, and I think it's going to take Rob Pelinka to be like, I mean, what are we doing here? Is it even worth you coming back to LA? And I think for Cleveland's sake, why would you want to go back to Cleveland and play with James Harden? You got two people that have shown to be ball dominant, and Donovan Mitchell. It doesn't make sense as far as the move is concerned. Put him on the Clippers.
If you can get, because does he have a player option or is he a restricted or unrestricted?
I think he's
I
unrestricted.
think he's a player option.
Last year, I think was his player option, and he opted in.
I think that kind of mucks up his opportunities a little
and
bit.
then cut Bronny James immediately.
Well, he can take less money and go anywhere if he wants to, but they don't think he's going to.
Yeah.
If you could get him to come back to Cleveland on a team friendly, dude, I think Cleveland could use that. Like,
I'd take LeBron and move on from Harden.
Bro, I would take LeBron and keep both of them because you got your shooters, you got your bigs. You're missing a guy that can go to the rim and effectively, you know what I'm saying, hit layups and play that way, or go get a bucket when the shots aren't falling. Because I just don't feel like Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are those kind of players anymore. They settle too much. But I just don't see where else you go if you're LeBron. Like what, or what for? You're not good enough to carry. You don't really fit in a lot of different teams anymore. I mean, maybe Golden State. I could see Golden State.
Yeah, that's what I read too, is that they're trying to go all in with Steph, Jimmy, and LeBron, and I think that would at least be fun enough to sell tickets. But
they're not going to win. I mean, that's in the playoffs, but
that's been my thing is I think there's too many different conversations that are happening at one time. Whenever we talk about LeBron James, I think the conversation of can LeBron James still play? Yes. Can LeBron James still put up good numbers? Yes. Is LeBron James as effective on the court as he was in regards to winning a championship as he was? No. And I think that should be fine to be said. I think there were times that LeBron was like he could be very effective in things, but it did not shift the game of winning and losing against the better teams. And that's the thought is like, can he still play in the league? Absolutely. I'm not asking if he can play in the league. I'm asking, can he still be LeBron James? Because the money that they want him to be paid is like he's still LeBron James. He's not. He's LeBron James, and it's cool, bro.
I think that's the biggest point that you're making too, Marlon, is like, what would it be for? What is he going to that team to try to accomplish? I think in his eyes, he's accomplished everything that he can in the NBA. You go to the finals 10 years in a row. Yeah, you only end up with 4 championships. Okay. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Even getting there is hard
you say
enough.
That shit. If I give you a 10 question quiz and you get 4 right, brother, you're retaking that.
Well, you might, you know what I mean? But I mean, I think my biggest point as far as that's concerned is for what? What is the point? Is it to create the Emmitt Smith-like gap of never being able to break the rushing record like he is with the scoring record? Is it to create more of a gap to the most amount of minutes and most games played in the NBA? Is it,
I think it's
what is it
just
for?
what has he done his entire life? He's hooped. It's hard to if that's who you are and what you've done your entire life. It's hard to walk away, especially being at that level. So
especially
I
when
think
you
it's
can
more
still play.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's more.
Michael Jordan did it.
Yeah, like 3 times and he kept coming back like Ric Flair. So you know what I mean? Like at some point,
Dwayne Wade did
when
it.
he never retired and came back.
He
No,
retired.
he went to Chicago and was hot garbage,
And then
and
he
then
went to
went back to
Cleveland.
Miami. And then yeah. And then he
Well, I'm saying the retirement part. True, like other people in the league. I'm trying to determine like how much longer do you think he really has before he finally decides
if he came out
to
this
do
summer
it.
and said like, "Hey, I'm cool. Like I'm you know what I'm saying? I want to watch Bronny, I want to watch Bryce, I want to Savannah, like I'm moving into the I wouldn't be shocked. But if he also was like, "Hey man, I want to come back for another run," I wouldn't be shocked either. Mine is just like I don't look as a Lakers fan. I don't look at the Lakers and say, if LeBron James takes less money and they bring in a decent big, are they going to be able to shrink the gap between the Spurs and the Thunder? No, because you cannot you can't hide 3 people on defense at one time. You can't hide Luka, Austin, and LeBron against the Thunder because whoever has the ball is going to pick and roll the shit out of you until they get the matchup they want, and they're going to get a bucket. So that it's playing the numbers inside the game of, can he still play? Yes. Can he still be a big piece on a championship level team? No. And that has to do with the amount of money and his inefficiencies as a defender at this point. I'm not talking about LeBron's career. LeBron at one point was a great defender. LeBron James in 2026, he can play defense 3.
He's not that
so
good.
That's where I'm like either just I don't want him back on my Lakers team, and it's no disrespect. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, LeBron, your tenure in LA was cheeks and booty butt cheeks." Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't personally see the Lakers building what they want to do, which is to be competitive in the Western Conference with LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why,
build him a statue already outside of crypto.
If he's got to be willing to do it, but if he wants to still compete, and he wants to walk away in a place that he loves so much, he cares so much about, Cleveland is the answer to that. You can go there, have your retirement tour, and that team still be competitive as hell, but you have to take less money. Also, the only reason why I can see him in Golden State is because he's proven that he wants to play with his people. Steph's one of his people. Draymond's one of his people. But also, I think he wants to stay on the West Coast. I think his life is set up there. His brand is set there. So Golden State, to me, is option 2. But he's playing. He's not retiring, dude. He's got more in the tank. He can be an effective guy on a championship roster. He just can't be the 1 or 2 anymore, in my opinion. And I feel like he's kind of getting into that role where maybe you limit his minutes so that instead of playing, 40 minutes, 40 minutes okay, he can play 25 minutes explosive. That's what I think can happen.
And I agree, and that's why I'm saying I think he has to be willing, and he also has to the team, because of the new apron rules, they have to be able to give him hella less because you have to have a roster that can take him being off the court. And for the Lakers this year, they couldn't. Like, he would come out and then teams would go on runs and then he's checking back in 3 minutes later. And it's just, it's too double negative. So, and I look at it as like, which team can keep his salary where he's going to want it, which is probably going to be around 30 to 50 mil, and also build a roster. And it's just, I don't see many. I don't see many. Can he take a vet minimum and go somewhere and help? Yes. But again,
dude, seriously though, honestly, like, fuck, dude, he's made so much money. Why does he need another max contract? Like, why? What do you want? What do you want at this point in your career?
His ego is Ronda Rousey, and we talked about her
crazy.
Earlier.
It's like Durant. If I were Durant, why would you keep signing maxes? Just go somewhere where it's fun to play and you want to win, and go win a fucking championship and leave. Like, you don't need $50 million anymore, brother. Your lifetime contract with Nike.
Well, but there's organizations there's teams willing to pay him that amount of money to play 1 year,
It's
though.
crazy.
It's just like Kevin Durant. There's going to be teams that are going to pay him super maxes because they look at their team like, this guy is going to change.
They
the
look at
game.
him as he's
And that's
2014 KD, and they're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
baby, oh yeah."
The name alone, they're like, yeah,
and
this is
I
exactly
agree.
what
I
we
think
need.
it's more like the Lakers could look at him this offseason and say, like, we'll give you 13.5, and then some other team is going to be like, we'll give you 53 mil, and he's going to be like, give me that 53 M's, and
where do I say?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, but I don't want to go too long on
They
that.
need to give
but
53 million to DeAndre Ayton.
fuck. You want to talk about
domination?
I'll climb the. I will climb the Devon Tower and just
dominate,
bro.
baby.
What
I
the
promise
fuck
you.
happened to him? Other than that one finals run where Monty called him out, he was always fucking good in Phoenix. I felt like
He was solid,
The
but he's
fuck
very
happened?
attitude, bro.
He was
No,
serviceable.
I mean,
attitude.
he comes off as weak to me mentally, like
Weak-minded. Yes.
Yeah.
They said that for the Lakers to get the best out of him, they had to constantly like hype him up.
Yeah,
That's where
feed his ego.
the was it dominating that
Yeah,
shit?
that
That's where that
chain.
came from. Is they
Yeah,
were
dominating,
hyping
baby.
him up and like, come on, bro. And I get that to an extent, but it's like, bro,
You gotta
like,
dominate.
and then he came out and, man, they treat me like I'm Clint Capella. Yeah, because whenever you were dominating in Portland and Phoenix, y'all were hot garbage. But gents, it was
Okay.
good to be back again. What do y'all want to leave the listeners with this week? Damn, Isaiah took the shades off.
OKC in 5. I'm
Hey,
not even gonna
stand up.
do the rhyme because I ain't built
You ain't
that
got
way.
to. Thunder in 5.
OKC in 5.
Isaiah?
I think this is gonna be, like I said, I'm Switzerland in this series. Whoever wins it, wins it.
Man,
Shout
stand
out
for
to
something,
both
bro.
cities. I'm gonna stand for no matter what. I'm winning.
Everybody's out here to
That's
have
how I
fun.
feel.
I feel that. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Stand
you
on
know,
it.
both teams play really hard.
Stand on it.
Both teams play
You
really
the dude that's in the stands on the original Space Jam cheering for the Monstars and the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I'll flip the jersey real quick. I don't
Are you? Oh, what was
What you
it?
mean?
The old
I'm-
KD meme where it was my next
Yeah.
chapter. Yeah.
Every team that
Facts.
wins the game, it's my next chapter.
We need to bring that
That's
back.
me
We need
right
to bring
there.
that back.
Yeah.
But for me,
No, I'm excited.
No,
Glad to be back, and I'm just looking forward to this series, and then coming off the heels of the NBA Finals, fellas. We got Freedom 250.
250.
Okay, and the UFC is back in Oklahoma City. Okay, I already looked at some ticket prices. We probably should.
I'll be at a wedding. So, for me, continue to join, chat like people did today. If you have some questions, you want to talk some mess, jump in the chat. Go ahead, talk some mess, leave some comments, and we will holler at y'all later. We out. Peace.
Peace.